showing you how to factorize using a method called completing the square. This method, you normally use it when you find yourself with a polynomial or an equation that is difficult to factorize using difference of two squares. So you'll just simplify it in order to make it easier for you to factorize and in the end solve for x. If you find yourself with an equation like x squared minus 10x minus 11 is equal to 0, and you have to solve for x. This is going to be impossible if you want to use factorizing using the difference of two squares. So instead, we're going to use completing the square. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that your equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And if we evaluate our equation at the top, it is in that form. And then the second thing you have to make sure is that the coefficient of x squared, which is a, is equal to 1, which is the case in our equation. If it wasn't, you are supposed to divide through the entire equation with whatever that coefficient is to make sure that the coefficient of x squared is equal to 1. So you were going to have, if you had 2 as the coefficient of x squared, then you're going to divide 10x by 2, 11 by 2, and 0 by 2. So I've kept the general format on the top so that I can always know what I'm referring to when I'm referring to a certain variable or a certain letter or a certain coefficient. So the first step to do is say, let's write our equation over again. We have x squared minus 10x minus 11 is equal to 0.
First thing you have to do is add or subtract c to either side of the equation to eliminate c on the left-hand side. So in our case, we have c as negative 11. So to eliminate it on the left-hand side, we have to add 11. So we'll add 11 also on the right-hand side. So we'll have plus 11 here and plus 11 there, resulting in x squared minus 10x, then 0, because plus 11 minus 11 gives us 0, is equal to 11, right? And then the next thing that we are going to do, we're going to take the half of b and square it. So what is b? So we're going to say b divided by 2 squared. You'll understand in a moment why we're doing that. So we're going to say, what is b? b is negative 10. So we're going to say negative 10 divided by 2 squared. That gives us negative 5 squared. So negative 5 squared is 25.
So now we're at a point where we have b over 2 squared, and we have our equation as x squared minus 10x, and then a space is equal to 11. So now what we're going to do next is to add this b over 2 squared to both sides of the equation. So we're going to say plus 25 here. That's what goes into the empty space, and plus 25 on this side. And now, what does that give us? It gives us x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to 36. When you look at this side of the equation now, it's now possible to factorize it using difference of two squares. So let's do that. So we're going to have two brackets, and we're going to have x there, because we have x squared. And then what factors of 25, when added together or subtracted, give us negative 10? So 5 times 5 is equals to 25, and negative 5 minus negative 5 can give us 10. So we're going to have negative 5 there, and negative 5 there is equal to 36. So what does that give us? It gives us x minus 5 squared is equal to 36. Now, how do we get rid of this squared? So we take square roots on either side. We are left with x minus 5 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 36. Remember to always add the plus or minus in front of a square root sign when you take the square root of something.
Now to solve for x, you're going to have x is equal to 5 plus or minus 6 because the square root of 36 is equal to 6. So the final answer is x is equal to 5 plus 6, which is 11, or x is equal to 5 minus 6, which is negative